Hi, I'm Joe Brannon, founder and CEO at Tex Living. Today I'm going to share the tactics on how I've built multiple eight-figure businesses. Before I jump into the tactics, I'd love to just share my story and what got me to where I'm at today. I started my first company when I was 17 years old. I sold that company at 19, and the reason I sold it is I wanted to go into the corporate world and learn exactly how to run a large company. I was lucky enough to land at a Fortune 500 company doing sales and business development, and they had a fantastic training program, and it really turned me into a student of sales, psychology, and business. It's one of the reasons I spend so much effort and time making sure our partners have everything they need in our Tex Living University to make sure they're successful when they launch as a white label partner. So after that business and going into the corporate world, I launched at 23 years old a mobile billboard business, and you probably have seen these trucks running around your town. They'll run around high traffic areas, scrolling and rotating local businesses' advertisements. Had great success in that business. Ended up having 3 local trucks very quickly, and so I decided to manufacture and teach other entrepreneurs how to take what I was doing and start their own business. Did that for about 5 years up until 2009 when we had the Great Recession. And unfortunately, the Great Recession really affected our business quite dramatically because we had banking relationships that would finance our entrepreneurs, and that dried up. So unfortunately, in 2019, I was forced to close that business down. It was, at the time, the worst thing that ever happened to me. I lost everything, but it was also the greatest teacher for me. And in retrospect and in reflection over time, it actually was the best thing that ever happened to me. After I closed that business down, I did go back into the corporate world, but as soon as I got into the corporate world, I started thinking about what is my next venture and what did I learn from my failures so that I wouldn't make that same mistake again. And there was 2 things I focused on. One, I wanted to create a more recession-proof business. And what I really was focused on when I was thinking about Tex Living was building a business where, merchants and customers not only needed me when times are good, but they actually would need me more when times were challenging. So that was number 1 thing. Number 2, I wanted reoccurring revenue. In my first business, it was very transactional. I would sell a mobile billboard truck or I would sell an ad, and it was very transactional. I wanted to create a software where I had reoccurring revenue every single month, and that I could prove every single month my value to the merchant so that I could keep them for many, many years. And one of the coolest things is, when we launched this company, we still got customers from, the first year that we launched, 14 years later, which is just really a testament to the idea of creating a recession-proof business and creating something that's really, really valuable. So in 2010, I launched Tex Living. Now, it wasn't easy. We started from scratch and bootstrapped this company without going out and getting any kind of major venture financing. What I did is I hired a developer, literally hand drew the software, and started building the first version of what we have today. But the first version didn't really work that well. We weren't doing what we said we wanted to do, which was prove to our merchants every single week that we were adding value. So we started really just as a text marketing company, and I kind of now call it more the traditional form of text marketing, where a customer would text in a keyword at a merchant, and that would help them build a database that could then send out text messages. But we had a really high attrition rate. We were losing way too many customers. And in 2011, I knew we needed to solve that problem. And so what I did is I built a loyalty platform so we could track the merchant's customers' habits and then use automation to be able to, drive them back based on those specific habits. We also did a hardware solution with a kiosk and a mobile web app so that we could track redemptions, so I could literally show a merchant exactly how many customers came in and the revenue that our software platform was providing for them. So we had, from 2012 when that product launched up until 2020, the way we built our business was by hiring W-2 sales reps. First, it was me going out and selling. I went out and sold about 100 accounts in 6 months, and then had the the money and the revenue to go start hiring sales reps. We grew slowly. We would hire a sales rep. As we had more profit, we'd hire another sales rep. The reason I focused on W-2 is because I can control the messaging, the training, and their time, which helps me keep them accountable to the goals. So fast forward, we had got up to about 12 sales reps, and we had a really great product. And that was the reason we knew we had a great product, is because we had such a high retention rate. We typically keep about 88% of our customers in our business each year. So we had a very, very low attrition rate, very, very high retention. And I was thinking about, how do we really scale this business? And that's what got us to the point of white labeling the business, taking all of our training, putting it into Tex Living University, and teaching entrepreneurs like you how to launch your own business. Now, what's great about Tex Living University is, whether you're become a white label partner and you're executing and building a business on our white label platform, or you just need great processes and sales training, Tex Living University can offer that to entrepreneurs and potential entrepreneurs that are out there. So here's the tactics. I'm going to share specific tactics that will help me get to where I'm at today and build these multi-million-dollar businesses. They're very simple to understand, but it takes a ton of commitment and a ton of sacrifice to implement and have continued success. So first off, the thing I worked on was working to build confidence in business, personal confidence, not my ego. See, ego is a quick way to lose everything, and I learned that lesson, in 2009. It was the ego that really caused me not to understand that I had a bad business model, and then I needed to really change that before the recession. You'll never hear me say the recession caused me to lose my business. I take full responsibility for the fact that I wasn't smart enough, or I had too big of an ego to think that I couldn't outwork and outsolve the business problems. Second, experimenting. So what's great about when you partner with a white label business is you still need to do experimenting in your business, but you don't necessarily have to do it with the product, because we've been experimenting for 14 years to really get to where it's at today. And we still experiment. We experiment with sales processes, with marketing emails and marketing processes, with account management processes. We're always experimenting to see, how do we keep getting a step further, a step better. Next is repeatable processes. This is a really, really important part of any successful business. You've probably read it in many books, but you need to create processes. Don't be married to the process, but you need to really write it down and execute upon it, see what's working. Again, you want to experiment with your processes and make them repeatable. The good news is we teach you all of our processes in Tex Living University, and they not only work in our business, but they'll work in any business. Whether it's sales processes, that's a really, really important thing that a lot of companies don't spend a lot of time focusing on. How do I make a sales process repeatable? So we really focus on sales processes, making sure we have good scripts. I'm not saying you need to go word for word on the script, but you need a framework when how you're calling on businesses, a framework when how you're presenting to businesses, and talking points that are consistent, that use psychological tactics to help you get the prospect ready to buy. And in a buying, people love, I always say this to our reps, people love to buy, they don't want to be sold, but you've got to guide them to that, and a good process will help you do that. Onboarding processes. How do you, when you close a merchant or an account, how do you get them onboarded to make sure that you set proper expectations and make sure that they're getting the tools they need and the training they need? So onboarding processes are very important. Account management. How do you make sure you keep the customer after you've spent all the time, energy, and effort to close them? Making sure all that's documented and you can effectively repeat it and train more people and hire more people to do those processes is going to give you, you're going to be more successful if you do that. Next is tracking daily personal goals and key performance indicators. You can have the greatest product in the world, but if you don't set specific targets and goals for yourself and then track the key performance indicators in your business, you're destined to fail. Like, you've got to have daily, consistent goals that you're accomplishing. Have your big goals and then break them down from an annual goal to a quarterly goal to a monthly goal to a weekly goal to daily activity goals. And then the next thing is keeping yourself accountable to those goals and KPIs. Now, I'll tell you, you're not always going to reach your goals. You're not always going to hit your targets every day. You've got to learn with the amount of time that you have, what are the proper goals that you need to set for you to reach your specific personal and professional goals. You need to take responsibility when you fail and when your team fails. So set those goals, make sure you stay accountable to those goals, and take responsibility when things are not working, and make changes when you need to. Next is flexibility. I'd never fall in love with an idea or a process. I'm always trying to enhance our processes. So I'm very flexible in looking and analyzing a process and making sure what little tweak can we make to make it better in our business. A lot of our processes have been in place for over a decade, but they still get tweaked here and there. Just little fine tuning, if you will, as things change in the marketplace. So be flexible. Don't fall in love with your own idea or process that you create. So if you've ever considered starting your own business, I'd love to invite you to join Tex Living University. Even if you don't think white labeling a software is really where you're ready to go yet, this would give you an opportunity to learn everything about running a successful 8-figure software company. And it's also a great place for a lot of our potential partners to start if they're not ready to pull the trigger. Also, one of the things we do with Tex Living University is I perform weekly workshops and coaching sessions that all of our partners join and our Tex Living University members join, where you can ask questions about business, you can ask questions about the software product, about sales, any kind of process. We really come together once a week for these workshops to give our partners everything they need and all the tools they need to be successful in the business. If you're interested in learning more about our products and our services and potentially becoming a white label partner, I would recommend on the page below, you can schedule a one-on-one call with one of our teammates, and they'll dive deep into the business opportunity for you and give you an interactive demo and show you exactly how this product helps merchants build a large database of customers that they can communicate with via text message. Thank you so much for your time today.